I own a repair shop on the edge of town. Nothing fancy. Just me, 3 guys who know their way around an engine, and a garage that smells like oil and old coffee. I've been doing this for 23 years. Built it from nothing. Every tool, every customer, every dollar, mine. My name is Jack Mercer, and until last Saturday, I thought my family knew what that meant. The barbecue was Linda's idea. My wife loves these things. She sets up the folding tables in the backyard, makes her potato salad, invites everyone over. Our son Dylan showed up with his wife Rebecca. My brother-in-law Craig, Linda's younger brother, rolled in an hour late in his leased BMW, grinning like he owned the world. I was at the grill, flipping burgers. The heat from the coals hit my face in waves. Linda was inside getting more plates. Dylan and Rebecca sat at the picnic table, whispering to each other. They'd been doing that a lot lately. Private conversations, quick looks, the kind of body language that said they were keeping secrets. Craig walked over with a beer in his hand. He's 42, never held a real job longer than 18 months, but somehow he always has money for nice clothes and fancy cars. He clapped me on the shoulder hard enough to make me stumble. "Jack, how's the grease monkey business?" He said it loud, made sure the neighbors could hear. "Fine," I said. I kept my eyes on the meat. "Just fine? Come on, man, you gotta be raking it in, right? All these people with their broken-down cars?" I flipped a burger. "We do okay." "Okay," Craig laughed. He took a long drink from his beer. "That's the problem with you, Jack. No ambition. You settle for okay. Meanwhile, the world's passing you by." Dylan looked up from the table. He didn't say anything, but I saw the smirk. Rebecca elbowed him, but she was smiling too. "I do honest work," I said. "Honest." Craig stretched the word out. "Sure, honest. But let's be real. You're what, 48? 50? And you're still turning wrenches in a garage that looks like it hasn't been updated since the 80s. Don't you ever think about, I don't know, evolving?" The back door opened. Linda came out with a tray of glasses. She saw Craig standing too close to me, saw the look on my face. Her smile got tight at the corners. "Craig, leave him alone," she said. "I'm not doing anything. Just having a conversation with my brother-in-law. Can't a guy talk to family?" "You're not talking. You're needling." Craig held up his hands in mock surrender. Fine. I'll shut up. But seriously, Jack, if you ever need help figuring out how to actually make money, let me know. I've got connections. Could probably turn that little shop of yours into something legitimate." Something legitimate. I put down the spatula, looked at him, really looked at him. He had this expression, this mixture of pity and condescension, like I was a dog that needed training. "Your burgers are burning," Linda said quietly. I turned back to the grill. She was right. Black smoke curled up from the edges. I scraped them onto a plate. Craig wandered over to the picnic table, sat down next to Dylan. They started talking, heads bent together. Rebecca joined in. Every few seconds, one of them would glance over at me. Linda came up beside me. She didn't touch me, but I could feel her there. Solid, present. "Don't listen to him," she said. "I'm not." "You are. I can see it in your shoulders." She was right. My whole body had gone tense. I forced myself to breathe slower. In through the nose, out through the mouth. "He's just talking," I said. "He's being cruel." Same thing with Craig. We stood there for a minute, not saying anything. The burgers sat on the plate, overcooked and forgotten. I could hear Craig's voice carrying across the yard. He was telling some story about a business deal he'd made, how he'd outsmarted someone, how easy it was if you just knew the right people. Dylan laughed at something Craig said. A real laugh, not polite. Rebecca touched Dylan's arm, said something I couldn't hear. They all laughed together. "They're mocking you," Linda said. "All 3 of them." "I know." "And you're just going to stand here and take it?" I didn't answer. What was I supposed to say? Yeah, I was taking it. I'd been taking it for years. Craig's little comments, Dylan's embarrassed looks when people asked what his dad did for a living, Rebecca's fake smiles whenever she visited the shop. They thought I didn't notice. They thought I was too simple, too focused on my work to see what was happening right in front of me. I picked up the plate of burgers, walked over to the table, set it down in the middle. "Food's ready," I said. Craig grabbed one immediately, took a big bite. "Little well done, but not bad. You're better at grilling than business, that's for sure." Dylan snorted. Rebecca covered her mouth, but I could see her laughing. I went back to the grill. Linda followed me. Her hand found mine, squeezed once. "You're a good man," she said. "Doesn't seem to matter much." "It matters to me?" I looked at her. Really looked. Linda's 51 years old. We've been married for 28 years. I've known her since high school. She's got gray in her hair now, lines around her eyes. But when she looks at me like that, like I'm the only person in the world who matters, I remember why I fell in love with her. Thanks, I said. She squeezed my hand again, then went back to playing host, refilling drinks, making small talk, keeping the party moving. I stayed at the grill, cooked the rest of the food, watched my family eat and laugh and ignore me. The barbecue went on for another 3 hours. Craig had 6 more beers. Dylan and Rebecca left early, said they had plans. Craig stuck around until almost midnight, getting louder with every drink. He told stories about his various jobs, his various schemes, how he always came out on top, how easy it was if you weren't afraid to take risks. That's your problem, Jack, he said around 11:30. He was slurring now. You're scared. You play it safe. And safe is just another word for broke. Linda tried to get him to call an Uber. He waved her off, said he was fine, eventually stumbled to his BMW and drove away. I watched his taillights disappear down the street, weaving slightly. Linda and I cleaned up in silence. We stacked plates, bagged garbage, folded tables. The whole time I kept replaying the evening in my head. Every insult, every laugh, every pitying look. You okay? Linda asked as we were finishing up. Yeah. Jack. I stopped. Put down the trash bag I was holding. Looked at her. I'm okay, I said. Really? You're lying. Maybe. She came over, put her arms around me. I hugged her back. We stood there in the middle of the yard, surrounded by the debris of the party, holding each other. I hate him, she said into my chest. I hate my brother sometimes. He's just drunk. He's mean. Drunk or sober, he's mean. I didn't argue. She was right. We went inside, got ready for bed. Linda fell asleep quickly. She always does. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, thinking. Craig's words kept running through my head. Safe is just another word for broke. No ambition, obsolete. Around 2 a.m, something shifted. I can't explain it. 1 minute I was angry. The next minute I was calm. Completely, perfectly calm. I got out of bed, went down to the kitchen, made coffee, sat at the table in the dark, drinking it slowly. I thought about my shop, 23 years. I knew every inch of that place, knew how much money came in, where it went, knew my customers, my employees, the rhythms of the business. I thought about Dylan, my son, 26 years old, business degree from state, always talked about growth strategies and market expansion, always looked at my shop like it was a museum piece. I thought about Rebecca, how she'd started asking questions about the shop 6 months ago. Casual questions, who owned what, how the paperwork worked, whether I'd thought about succession planning. I thought about Craig, his expensive car, his expensive clothes, his expensive lifestyle, and no visible source of income. The coffee got cold. I didn't notice. By the time the sun came up, I knew what I was going to do. Linda found me still sitting there at 6:30. She stopped in the doorway, surprised. Did you sleep at all? She asked. No. She came in, poured herself coffee, sat down across from me. What are you thinking about? She said. I looked at her, my wife, my partner, the only person in my life who'd never made me feel small. I'm thinking, I said, that I've been underestimated. She sipped her coffee, studied my face. You've got that look, she said. What look? The look you get when you're about to do something. What are you planning, Jack? I smiled. First real smile I'd had in months. I'm going to give Craig what he wants, I said. Which is? An envelope. She frowned. I don't understand. You will. I got up, kissed the top of her head, went upstairs to shower and change. By 7:30, I was at the shop. Sunday morning, no one else there. Just me and the quiet. I went to my office, locked the door, sat down at my desk. Then I opened the filing cabinet and started going through records. Before we go any further, hit the hype button, take a second to subscribe, and like the video. It really helps the channel grow. And tell us in the comments, what would you do in this situation? The shop opens at 8 on Sundays. I've got a guy named Pete who works half days on weekends, handles the emergency stuff. He showed up at 7:55 with his usual coffee and newspaper. Morning, boss, he said when he saw me. Didn't expect you in today. Catching up on paperwork. He nodded. Pete's been with me for 14 years. Doesn't ask questions, just does his job. I stayed in the office all morning, went through files, checked records, made notes. Linda called around noon. You coming home for lunch? She asked. Not today. I'm working on something. This about Craig? Partly. She was quiet for a second. Then, be careful, Jack. Always am. No, I mean it. When you get quiet like this, when you start planning, be careful. Don't do anything that'll come back on you. I won't. Promise me. I promise. She hung up. I went back to the files. By 3 o'clock, I'd found what I was looking for. It was in an old folder, something I'd filed away and forgotten about. But there it was, clear as day. I made copies, put the originals back, locked the filing cabinet. Pete knocked on my door around 4. Heading out, boss. You need anything? No. Thanks, Pete. See you tomorrow. I waited until I heard his truck pull away. Then I got a plain white envelope from my desk drawer, put the copies inside, sealed it, wrote Craig's name on the front. The drive to Craig's apartment took 20 minutes. He lives in one of those new complexes downtown. Expensive, glass and steel, doorman, the kind of place I could never afford. I parked across the street, sat there for a minute, holding the envelope. This was it. Once I did this, there was no going back. I got out of the truck, crossed the street, walked into the lobby. The doorman looked up from his phone. Help you? He said. I'm here to see Craig Mitchell, Unit 412. He expecting you? No, but I'm his brother-in-law. Tell him Jack Mercer's here. The doorman picked up a phone, called up, had a brief conversation, hung up. He says to come up. I took the elevator to the 4th floor, found 412, knocked. Craig opened the door. He was wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt. Looked rough, hungover. Jack, what are you doing here? I held out the envelope. For you. He stared at it, then at me. What is this? Open it later, when you're alone. Is this money? Because if you're trying to, it's not money? Then what? Just open it later. I turned to leave. He grabbed my arm. Wait, seriously, what is this? I looked down at his hand on my arm, looked back up at his face. He let go. It's what you asked for, I said. Help understanding how to make money. His expression changed, went from confused to curious to something like pleased. Finally, he said. Finally, you get it. I didn't say anything, just walked away. Behind me, I heard him close the door. I took the elevator back down, got in my truck, drove home. Linda was in the kitchen when I got there. She took one look at my face and said, You did it? Yeah. What was in the envelope? Evidence. Of what? I sat down at the table, told her everything. 6 months ago, Craig had come to me with a business proposition. He wanted to borrow money, said he had an opportunity, a sure thing, just needed $20,000 to get started. I'd said no, I don't lend money to family. It never ends well. Craig had been angry, said I was being selfish, said family was supposed to help family, but I held firm. 2 weeks later, I noticed some irregularities in my business account. Small amounts, a few hundred here, 1,000 there, nothing huge, but consistent. I'd hired an accountant to look into it. She'd traced the withdrawals back to a series of checks, forged checks, made out to cash, signed with my name. The signature was good, really good, but it wasn't mine. I'd shown the accountant the checks. She'd compared them to my real signature. Close, but not perfect. Someone had practiced, someone who'd had access to my checkbook. The accountant had advised me to call the police. Press charges? But I'd hesitated, because I knew who'd done it. Craig had been at the shop a dozen times in the weeks before the checks started appearing. He'd been in my office, alone, while I was out front dealing with customers. I'd confronted him, quietly, no drama, just the two of us. He'd denied it at first, then admitted it, said he'd been desperate, said he'd pay it back, promised it would never happen again. I'd made him sign a confession, handwritten, detailed, every check, every amount, every date. He'd signed it because he thought I'd never use it, thought I was too weak, too nice. I'd filed it away, forgotten about it, until yesterday. You gave him the confession? Linda said. Copy of it. What do you think he'll do? I don't know, but he won't be able to ignore it. She sat down across from me, reached across the table, took my hand. This is going to get ugly, she said. I know. Are you ready for that? No, but I'm doing it anyway. We sat there, holding hands, thinking about what came next. My phone rang around 7. Dylan. Dad, what the hell did you do? What are you talking about? Craig just called me. He's freaking out. Says you gave him some kind of envelope. That's between me and Craig. He says it's about money you accused him of stealing. I didn't accuse him? He confessed. Silence on the other end. Then, what? Your uncle forged checks from my business account. He signed a confession. I gave him a copy. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't I? Because he's family. Exactly. More silence. I could hear Dylan breathing. Angry breathing. This is insane, he said. You can't just go around threatening people. I didn't threaten anyone. I gave him evidence of what he did. That's not a threat. That's a fact. Mom agrees with this? Ask her yourself. I handed the phone to Linda. She took it, listened, said, Your father's right. Craig stole from us. This is the consequence. Listened some more. Then, You'd better think very carefully about whose side you're on, Dylan. She hung up. He's not happy, she said. No. Neither is Rebecca, I'm guessing. Probably not, she smiled. Small smile, tight smile. Good. I looked at her. Really looked. There was something in her eyes I'd never seen before. Something hard. You knew, I said, about Dylan and Rebecca. You knew they were up to something. I suspected. Why didn't you say anything? Because I wasn't sure, and because I knew you needed to figure it out yourself. Figure what out? That they're not on your side. The words hit like a punch. Not on my side, my own son. What do you think they're planning? I asked. I don't know yet, but I'm going to find out. She got up, went to her laptop, opened it, started typing. What are you doing? Research. If Dylan and Rebecca are plotting something, they'll have left traces, emails, texts, digital footprints. You can find that? She looked at me over the laptop. Jack, I've been doing the books for your business for 20 years. You think I don't know how to dig up information? I'd never thought about it. Linda handled the administrative side. The paperwork, the taxes. I fixed cars. She fixed numbers. That was how we worked. But now I realized she'd been watching, waiting, seeing things I'd missed. What do you need from me? I said. Dylan's laptop. Can you get it? Why would he let me near his laptop? You're his father. Tell him you want to talk. Patch things up. He'll invite you over. While you're there, access his laptop. All you need is 30 seconds. I'll tell you exactly what to do. Linda, don't argue with me. We're past that now. She was right. We were past that. I called Dylan back. He answered on the first ring. What? He said. I want to talk. In person. Can I come over? There's nothing to talk about. Please. I don't want this getting worse. He sighed. Fine. Come over tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Thanks. He hung up. Linda smiled at me. Good. Here's what you're going to do. She spent the next hour coaching me, showed me exactly how to access Dylan's laptop, how to plug in a small USB drive, how to run a program that would copy certain files, how to make it look like nothing had happened. Where did you learn this? I asked. YouTube, the internet. You can learn anything if you're motivated. How long have you been planning this? Since Rebecca started asking about the shop, I knew something was wrong. I just didn't know what. I looked at my wife. 28 years. I thought I knew everything about her, but this was new. You're scary, I said. I know. She kissed me. Not a gentle kiss, a hard kiss, possessive. They tried to take what's ours, she said. Now we take it back. I couldn't sleep that night either. Kept thinking about tomorrow, about what I was going to do, about what might happen if I got caught. But more than that, I thought about the look in Linda's eyes, that hard, determined look. I realized I wasn't alone in this. Whatever happened next, we were doing it together. Monday morning came. I went to the shop, tried to work, couldn't focus. Pete noticed. You okay, boss? He asked around noon. Fine, just distracted. Anything I can help with? No, thanks. The day crawled. Every hour felt like 10. Finally, 6:30 came. I closed up, drove to Dylan and Rebecca's apartment. They lived in a small complex on the west side of town. 2-bedroom, nice enough. Dylan answered the door. Hey, Dad. Hey. He let me in. Rebecca was on the couch watching TV. She looked up when I came in, smiled, fake smile. Hi, Jack, she said. Rebecca. Dylan gestured to a chair. Sit. I sat, looked around. Their laptop was on the kitchen counter, closed. This was going to be harder than I thought. So, Dylan said, what did you want to talk about? Yesterday. Craig, the envelope. I think I handled it wrong. You think? I should have talked to you first. Before I did anything. You're my son. You should have known. He leaned back, crossed his arms. Yeah, I should have. I'm sorry. Are you taking it back? The confession? No, but I shouldn't have blindsided you. Rebecca muted the TV, turned to face us. Why did you give it to him? What do you hope to accomplish? I want him to understand there are consequences. Consequences for what? Something that happened months ago? That he apologized for? He didn't apologize. He made excuses. Same thing, Dylan said. No, it's not. We sat there. Awkward silence. I needed to move this conversation somewhere else. Somewhere that would get Dylan away from the living room. Can I use your bathroom? I said. Sure, down the hall. I got up, walked down the hall, went into the bathroom, closed the door, counted to 30, flushed the toilet, ran the water, then opened the door quietly. Peeked out. Dylan and Rebecca were talking in low voices, not paying attention. I moved quickly. Into the kitchen. Opened the laptop. It wasn't password protected. Linda had guessed right. They were arrogant. Sloppy. I plugged in the USB drive. Double-clicked the program Linda had loaded onto it. A progress bar appeared. 5%, 10%. Behind me, Dylan said, Dad, what are you doing? I turned. He was standing in the kitchen doorway, staring at me, at the laptop, at the USB drive. Checking my email, I said. On my computer? Mine's in the truck. I didn't want to. He crossed the room in 3 steps, grabbed the laptop, pulled out the USB drive. What the hell is this? He said. Dylan. What did you just do? Rebecca came in, looked at the laptop, at the USB drive in Dylan's hand. Her face went white. Did you copy our files? She said. No, I was just... You were spying on us. I wasn't... Get out, Dylan said. Listen to me. Get out of my apartment, now. I looked at him. My son, 26 years old. His face was red, furious. But under the anger, I saw something else. Fear. He was afraid of what I might have found. Fine, I said. I'm going. I walked to the door. Dylan followed me, stood in the doorway as I went out into the hall. Don't come back, he said. Not unless you're invited. Dylan. He slammed the door. I stood there in the empty hallway, heart pounding, hands shaking. The program had been at 23% when Dylan pulled the USB drive. Had it copied enough? Had I gotten anything useful? I drove home. Linda was waiting. What happened? She said as soon as I walked in. I told her everything. She took the USB drive, plugged it into her laptop, waited, clicked, scrolled. It's incomplete, she said. But there's something here. What? She turned the laptop so I could see. Email threads, documents, financial spreadsheets. Dylan and Rebecca have been talking to Craig for 3 months, she said. About the shop, about how to acquire it. Acquire it? They want to buy you out, forcibly. They've been consulting lawyers, looking at options. I stared at the screen, at my son's words. Cold, calculated, planning to take everything I'd built. There's more, Linda said. She clicked to another document. They've been talking to your business partners, Pete, Gary, Tom, trying to convince them to side with Dylan, promising them higher pay, better positions. How long have they been doing this? Since April. 6 months. 6 months of planning, conspiring, and I'd known nothing. Linda closed the laptop, looked at me. What do you want to do? She said. I thought about it, really thought. I want to show them what happens when you underestimate someone, I said. She smiled. Good. But I need time. I need to see everything they've planned. Then we get the rest of the files. How? We wait, watch. When they make their next move, we'll be ready. I nodded, sat down, felt exhausted. Linda came over, put her arms around me, held me. We're going to win this, she said into my ear. How do you know? Because they're arrogant, and arrogance makes you stupid. I believed her. Wednesday dragged. I couldn't focus. Made mistakes on 2 repairs. Gary noticed. You okay, boss? Fine. You don't seem fine. I said I'm fine. He backed off. Smart guy. Linda called at 3. They moved the meeting, she said. What? Torres's office just sent out an updated calendar invite. Meeting's now at 8 instead of 7. Does that change anything? No, we still get the recording. We just have to wait an extra hour. Okay. Jack, you sound stressed. I am stressed. It's going to work. You don't know that. I do. Trust me. I wanted to. But trusting felt dangerous right now. I closed the shop at 5. Drove home. Linda was in the kitchen, laptop open, monitoring something. What are you doing? I said. Tracking Torres's office network. I set up a remote connection when we were there yesterday. If anyone accesses files related to us, I'll know. How did you? I plugged a second device into his router. You were busy with the listening thing. I was busy with this. I stared at her. Who are you? She smiled. Your wife. The one who's been paying attention while everyone underestimated us. At 7:30, her computer chimed. She clicked something, nodded. Dylan just arrived at Torres's office. Rebecca, too. How do you know? Torres has a Ring camera at his door. I hacked into it. You what? It's not hard. Most people use default passwords. I sat down, watched the laptop screen. A minute later, Craig showed up, knocked, was let inside. Showtime, Linda said. She opened another program. Audio started playing. Faint at first, then clearer. Voices. Dylan, Rebecca, Craig, Torres. Appreciate you meeting with us, Torres was saying. I've reviewed the materials you sent over. I think we have a strong case. How strong? Dylan asked. Strong enough. Your father's business has been profitable, but the margins are thin. With the right presentation, we can argue that he's mismanaging resources. Add in the testimonies from Pete Morrison and Craig Mitchell, and we've got a pattern of poor judgment. When can we file? Rebecca said. Friday. I'll have the paperwork ready by tomorrow. And how long until we get control? Craig asked. If the judge rules in your favor, 30 to 60 days. Linda and I looked at each other. 30 days. They were going to try to take my business in 30 days. The conversation continued. They discussed strategy. What to say? What to emphasize? How to make me look incompetent. Dylan's voice. What about the envelope? The confession he gave to Craig? What confession? Torres said. Craig explained. About the forged checks, about the signed admission. Torres was quiet for a second. Then, that complicates things. Why? Craig said. Because if your brother-in-law has evidence that you committed fraud, he can use that against you. It undermines your credibility as a witness. But I'm family. He won't use it. Are you sure about that? Positive. Jack's too soft. He doesn't have it in him? Dylan laughed. Dad's not going to do anything. He's scared. I saw it in his eyes when I kicked him out of my apartment. He's panicking. Good, Rebecca said. Panicked people make mistakes. Or they fight back, Torres said. Jack won't fight, Craig said. Trust me, he'll roll over. Linda paused the recording. Looked at me. They really think you're weak, she said. Yeah. Are you going to prove them wrong? What do you think? She smiled. Hit play. The meeting went on for another 40 minutes. They discussed finances, testimonies, court dates. At one point, Rebecca mentioned the photo they'd sent us. Craig laughed, said it was his idea, said he'd paid someone to break in. Take the picture. Make us nervous. Did it work? Torres asked. Don't know yet, but it'll make them think twice about fighting back. The recording ended. Linda closed the laptop. We've got them, she said. Yeah. Everything they just said. Conspiracy to commit fraud, breaking and entering, witness tampering. So what do? We go to the police, give them the recording, press charges. I thought about it, nodded. Okay. Now? Tomorrow morning. I want to sleep on it. Make sure we're doing this right. Linda agreed. We spent the rest of the evening copying the recording, making backups, preparing. At midnight, my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. Yeah? Jack Mercer? Who's this? Vincent Torres, your son's lawyer. I put him on speaker so Linda could hear. What do you want? I said. I want to offer you a deal. Not interested. Hear me out. You sign over controlling interest in your business to Dylan. In exchange, he pays you a salary, modest but fair. You keep working, keep your shop, just not in charge anymore. Why would I agree to that? Because the alternative is a court battle. You'll lose. Your reputation will be destroyed. Your business will go bankrupt from legal fees. This way, everyone wins. Everyone except me. You keep your job, that's something. It's nothing, and you know it, Torres sighed. I'm trying to be reasonable here. No, you're trying to strong-arm me. Won't work. Think about it. You have until Friday. Don't need to think about it. My answer's no. I hung up. Linda was smiling. That was good. Was it? You didn't back down. You didn't negotiate. You just said no. It felt good. It should. Because tomorrow, we're going to end this. We went to the police station at 8 a.m., asked to speak to a detective, were directed to a woman named Martinez, mid-40s, sharp eyes, no nonsense. What can I do for you? She said. Linda handed her a USB drive. We have evidence of a conspiracy, breaking and entering, witness tampering, and attempted fraud. Martinez plugged in the drive, listened to the recording. Her expression didn't change, but I saw her eyes narrow. When it finished, she said, "Where did you get this?" "Does it matter?" I said. "If you obtained it illegally, it's inadmissible. We didn't break any laws. You recorded a conversation without the participant's knowledge. That's illegal in this state unless one party consents. We consented. You weren't in the room." Linda leaned forward. "Actually, we were. We placed a device in the conference room with the owner's permission." "Did you?" "We told him we needed to retrieve something from the office. He let us in. What we did while inside is our business." Martinez studied us. I could see her deciding whether to believe us. "I'm going to need to verify some of this," she said. "Take your time," Linda said, "but those people are planning to file fraudulent legal documents on Friday. If you want to stop them, you'll need to act fast. I'll look into it. That's all we ask." We left. Got back in the truck. "You think she'll do anything?" I said. "Yes, she's smart. She knows real evidence when she sees it. And if she doesn't, then we have a backup plan." "Which is?" "We go public, release the recording to the press, let Dylan and Craig deal with the fallout." I liked that idea. A lot. We went home, waited. Linda made lunch. I couldn't eat, too nervous. I got halfway to my truck before my phone rang. Linda. "How did it go?" she said. "About how you'd expect. They tried to threaten me. I walked out." "Good. Come home." "On my way." I was pulling out of the parking garage when I saw Dylan's car, parked across the street. He was sitting in the driver's seat, watching me. I drove past him, checked the rearview mirror that he pulled out, started following. "Linda," I said. "Yeah?" "Dylan's following me." "What?" "He's right behind me. Has been since I left the parking garage." "Where are you?" "Main Street, heading toward the highway." "Don't go home. Not with him following you." "Where should I go?" "The shop. There are cameras there, witnesses. He won't try anything stupid." She was right. I took the next right, headed toward the industrial district. Dylan stayed behind me, 3 cars back, not even trying to hide it. I called Gary. "Boss? I'm coming to the shop. I'm being followed. When I get there, I want you outside, visible." "Who's following you?" "Dylan." "Your son?" "Yeah." "What do you want me to do?" "Just be there, be seen, that's all." I hung up, drove faster, made it to the shop in 8 minutes. Gary was standing out front, arms crossed. Tom was next to him. I pulled in, got out. Dylan pulled in behind me, blocked the driveway. He got out of his car, walked toward me. Gary stepped forward. "Easy," I said to Gary. "Let's see what he wants." Dylan stopped 5 feet away. His face was red, hands clenched. "You happy now?" he said. "About what?" "About ruining everything." "I haven't ruined anything." "The hell you haven't. Says that recording makes us look like criminals. Says no judge will rule in our favor now. Then you shouldn't have conspired against me. I'm your son. Then act like it." He took a step forward. Gary moved between us. "Back off," Gary said. Dylan looked at him, looked at Tom, looked at me. "This isn't over," he said. "Yeah, it is." "You don't get it. You really don't get it." "Get what?" "This was never about the shop. This was about respect. You've spent your whole life being mediocre, being small, and I'm tired of being dragged down with you." The words hit like a punch. Mediocre, small. "I built this business from nothing," I said. "I raised you. I gave you everything. You gave me a childhood in a garage. You gave me a father who smelled like oil and never had time for anything that mattered. That's not fair. Isn't it? You were always working, always busy. Mom raised me. You just signed the checks. That's how I provided for you. I didn't need money. I needed a dad." We stood there, staring at each other, years of resentment boiling up. "I'm sorry you feel that way," I said finally. "No, you're not. You don't care. You never did." "That's not true." "Isn't it? Then why are we here? Why are you fighting me? Why can't you just let me have this? Because it's mine. I built it, not you. And that's all that matters to you. Your business, your legacy, not your family. My family tried to destroy me. No, we tried to save you from yourself, but you're too stubborn to see it. He turned, walked back to his car, got in, reversed out of the driveway, drove away. Gary and Tom looked at me. You okay, boss? Gary said. Yeah. That was intense. Yeah. I went inside, sat in my office, put my head in my hands. Dylan's words kept echoing. Mediocre. Small. Never had time for anything that mattered. Was he right? Had I been so focused on the business that I'd neglected him? My phone rang. Linda. Are you okay? She said. Dylan was here. What happened? I told her. Everything. She listened. He's wrong, she said when I finished. Is he? Yes. You were a good father. You worked hard to give him opportunities. He's rewriting history to justify what he's doing. Maybe. Jack, listen to me. Dylan is angry. He's lashing out. But that doesn't make his accusations true. Then why do they hurt so much? Because he's your son, and you love him, even after everything he's done. She was right. I did love him, and that made this so much worse. What do I do now? I said. You keep fighting. You finish this. How? We make our next move. We show them they can't break us. What's the next move? I've been thinking about that, and I have an idea. Tell me. Not over the phone. Come home. We'll talk. I drove home. Linda was waiting. She had her laptop open. Papers spread across the kitchen table. What's all this? I said. Research. On Torres, on Dylan and Rebecca, on Craig. What kind of research? The useful kind. Did you know Torres was disbarred in Arizona 10 years ago? What? He got his license reinstated 5 years later, but the original complaint is still on record. He was accused of falsifying evidence in a civil case. How does that help us? Because it means he has a history of unethical behavior. If we present that to Detective Martinez, it adds credibility to our case, makes it more likely she'll pursue charges. What about Dylan and Rebecca? Rebecca has 3 judgments against her for unpaid credit cards. Dylan owes $40,000 in student loans. They're desperate for money, which explains why they want your business. And Craig? Craig's the interesting one. I did a deep dive into his finances. He's not broke. He's actually got quite a bit of money in offshore accounts. Offshore accounts? Yeah, Panama, the Cayman Islands. All perfectly legal, technically, but suspicious. I think he's been hiding income, maybe running some kind of scheme. What does that have to do with us? It means he's vulnerable. If we threaten to report his offshore accounts to the IRS, he'll back off. I looked at her, my wife, the quiet, analytical woman I'd married 28 years ago, who was now plotting revenge with the precision of a general. You're scary, I said. I know, but I'm on your side. That's what matters. We spent the next hour going through her research. She'd found so much: tax records, court documents, social media posts, email trails. How did you get all this? I said. Most of it's public record. You just have to know where to look. The rest I got from creative sources. Creative sources? Let's just say I have friends who are good with computers. I didn't ask. Didn't want to know. At 4 p.m., she sent 3 emails. 1 to Torres, 1 to Dylan and Rebecca, 1 to Craig. Each email was custom-tailored. Each one contained information about the recipient's vulnerabilities. Each one ended with the same message. Drop your case, walk away, or this becomes public. That should do it, Linda said. You think they'll give up? They don't have a choice, not if they want to protect their secrets. We waited, watched her laptop, waited for responses. Craig responded first, a single word. Fine. Torres responded next. You've made your point. We'll withdraw the motion. Dylan and Rebecca didn't respond, but an hour later, Torres sent another email. Your son and daughter-in-law have agreed to withdraw. Consider this matter closed. Linda closed her laptop, looked at me. We won, she said. Did we? Yes. They're backing down. It's over. It doesn't feel over. It will. Give it time. I wanted to believe her, but something felt wrong. Too easy, like we were missing something. That night, I couldn't sleep. Again, I kept thinking about Dylan, about his face when he'd confronted me at the shop, the anger, the hurt. I didn't want to lose my son, but I didn't know how to fix this. Around midnight, I got out of bed, Went downstairs, made coffee. Linda found me there an hour later. "Can't sleep?" she said. "No." She sat down, took my hand. "Talk to me," she said. "I keep thinking about Dylan, about what he said. He was trying to hurt you." "I know. But what if he was also telling the truth? What if I was a bad father?" "You weren't." "How do you know?" "Because I was there. I saw how much you cared, how hard you worked to give him a good life." "But I wasn't around, not as much as I should have been." "You were around enough. Dylan's rewriting history, making you the villain so he doesn't have to feel guilty about what he tried to do." I wanted to believe her, but doubt gnawed at me. "I should call him," I said. "No." "Linda." "No. If you call him now, you're giving him power. You're saying that his opinion matters more than your own self-respect. Don't do that. He's my son. And he betrayed you. He conspired against you. He broke into your house. He called you mediocre. When he's ready to apologize, really apologize, then you can talk, but not before." She was right. I knew she was right. But it still hurt. We sat there in the dark, holding hands, waiting for morning. Friday came. I went to the shop, tried to work, couldn't focus. Every time the phone rang, I jumped. Every time someone walked in, I tensed. But nothing happened. No calls from Torres, no visits from Dylan, no threats from Craig, just silence. At noon, Detective Martinez called. "Mr. Mercer, I wanted to update you. We've interviewed everyone involved. We've reviewed the evidence. We're not pursuing charges." "What? Why not?" "The parties involved have agreed to drop their legal action against you. Without that, there's no ongoing crime to prosecute. The breaking and entering claim is unprovable. The conspiracy charge is weak without concrete evidence of intent." "But the recording shows planning. It shows unethical behavior, but it doesn't show criminal behavior. I'm sorry, my hands are tied." She hung up. I sat there, staring at the phone, trying to process. They'd won. Not completely, but enough. They'd walked away. No consequences, no punishment, just nothing. Linda called 5 minutes later. "I just heard from Martinez," she said. "Yeah. This isn't over." "Isn't it?" "No, because we're not done. They think they've walked away clean. They haven't." "What are you talking about?" "I'm talking about making sure everyone knows what they did. I'm talking about consequences. Real consequences." "Linda, trust me, I have a plan." I did trust her. That was the thing. After everything, after all the revelations about who she really was, I trusted her completely. "What do you need from me?" I said. "Nothing, just keep your head down. Let me handle this." She hung up. I went back to work. Finished the day, drove home. Linda was at the kitchen table, laptop open, typing furiously. "What are you doing?" I said. "Publishing." "Publishing what?" "The truth, all of it. I've started a blog, posted the recording, posted all the research I did, posted everything." "Linda, don't try to stop me. This needs to happen." I looked at her screen, saw the blog post, saw the audio file embedded, saw the documents attached. "You're sure about this?" I said. "Completely." "There'll be fallout." "I know. They'll come after us." "Let them. We've got nothing to hide." I sat down next to her, watched her type, watched her build a case, a public case. Within an hour, the post was live. She shared it on social media, sent the link to local news stations, made sure everyone would see it. Then we waited. The first news outlet picked it up by 8 p.m., a small blog, then a local TV station, then a newspaper. By midnight, it was everywhere. My phone started ringing, reporters, friends, customers, everyone wanting to know if it was true. I didn't answer. Let them leave messages. Linda's phone rang too. She answered once, talked to a reporter, confirmed everything, hung up. "That's it," she said. "It's done." "What happens now?" "Now we see how they respond." Dylan called at 2 a.m., screaming. "What the hell did you do?" "I didn't do anything. Your mother did." "You're destroying us. Our reputations are ruined." "You ruined them yourselves." "This is insane. You can't just post private conversations." "Actually, we can, and we did." "I'll sue you." "Go ahead. Add it to the list of legal threats you've already made." He hung up. Craig called next, calmer but angry. "You've made a mistake," he said. "Have I?" "Yeah, because now I'm going to make sure everyone knows what kind of person you really are." Go ahead, I've got nothing to hide. We'll see about that. He hung up. Rebecca didn't call, but she sent an email, long email, accusatory, bitter. I deleted it without reading the whole thing. Torres called at 8 a.m. Saturday. Mr. Mercer, this is unacceptable. Is it? You've violated attorney-client privilege. You've publicly defamed my clients. I'm filing a lawsuit. Good luck with that. I'm serious. So am I. File your lawsuit. We'll see you in court. I hung up. Linda made breakfast. We ate in silence, both exhausted, both waiting for the next shoe to drop. It dropped at noon. A car pulled up outside. 2 people got out, a man and a woman, both carrying cameras. Reporters, Linda said. Should we talk to them? No. Let them take their pictures. Let them speculate, but don't give them anything. We stayed inside, watched them through the window. They took photos of the house, knocked on the door, left when we didn't answer. More reporters came throughout the day. By evening, there were 5 cars parked on our street. Neighbors came out to watch, asked questions. We didn't answer those either. This is a circus, I said. It'll die down, Linda said. In a few days, they'll move on to the next story. And Dylan? What about him? Do you think he'll ever forgive us? She looked at me, serious look, sad look. I don't know, she said. Maybe, maybe not. But that's his choice, not ours. He's my son. I know, and I love him too. But he tried to destroy us. We had to defend ourselves. At what cost? At whatever cost necessary. I didn't argue. She was right. Sunday morning, the reporters were gone. The street was quiet. Normal. I went to the shop, found a note taped to the door. Traitor. One word, Dylan's handwriting. I crumpled it up, threw it away. Inside, Gary and Tom were waiting. Hey, boss, Gary said. Saw the news. Yeah. That was your son? Yeah. Damn, I'm sorry. It is what it is. Still, that's rough. We worked, kept busy, tried not to think about everything. At lunch, Linda called. You need to see this, she said. What? Check your email. Craig just posted a response. On his Facebook page. I opened my email, clicked the link she'd sent. Craig's post was long, defensive, accusatory. He claimed I'd manipulated the recording, claimed I'd fabricated evidence, claimed I was the real villain in all of this. The comments below were mixed. Some people believed him, some didn't. It was a mess. What do we do? I said. Nothing. Let him rant. The truth is already out there. What if people believe him? Some will, some won't. We can't control that. This feels like it's spiraling. It's not. It's just noise. Give it a week. It'll all blow over. I wanted to believe her, but I wasn't sure. That week was the longest of my life. Every day brought new developments, new articles, new comments, new accusations. Dylan and Rebecca released a statement, claimed they were the victims, claimed I was abusive, vindictive, cruel. It was all lies. But some people believed them. Torres threatened legal action, never followed through. Craig tried to rally support, failed. Most people saw through him. And through it all, Linda and I stayed strong, together. By the following Friday, things started to calm down. The news cycle moved on. The reporters stopped calling. The comments stopped coming. We'd survived. But the cost was high. Dylan hadn't spoken to us in a week. Rebecca blocked us on social media. Craig sent one final text. You'll regret this. I didn't respond. Do you regret it? Linda asked me that Friday night. No. Really? Really. We did what we had to do. Even if it means losing Dylan? He lost us, not the other way around. She nodded, believed me, or wanted to. But late that night, alone in bed, I wondered. Had we done the right thing, or had we just destroyed our family forever? I didn't know, and I wouldn't know for a long time. All I knew was this. I wasn't going to be underestimated anymore. I wasn't going to be pushed around. Whatever happened next, I'd face it head on, because I'd learned something important. I'd learned that sometimes you have to fight, even against your own family, even when it hurts, because some things are worth fighting for, and your self-respect is one of them. 2 weeks passed. The dust started to settle. Business at the shop went back to normal. Gary and Tom stopped asking questions. Customers stopped staring. But Dylan still hadn't called. Neither had Rebecca. Neither had Craig. Linda threw herself into work. She'd taken over more of the business operations, organized the files, updated the accounting system, made everything more efficient. We should have done this years ago, she said one night. You're doing great. I mean, we should have modernized, updated. You were so focused on just keeping things running that you never thought about growth. I thought about it. But you didn't do it. You played it safe. The words stung, because they were similar to what Dylan had said, and Craig. Maybe they'd been right. Maybe I had been too cautious. What are you thinking? Linda asked. Nothing. Jack, I'm thinking maybe I did play it too safe. Maybe that's why Dylan felt like he had to take over. Don't do that. Do what? Second guess yourself. You built a successful business, you provided for your family, you did nothing wrong. Then why does it feel like I did? She came over, put her arms around me. Because you're human, and humans doubt themselves, especially when they're under attack. I held her, grateful for her presence, her certainty. What if he never forgives me? I said. Then he doesn't, and you move on. Can I? You have to. I didn't want to, but I knew she was right. The next day, Gary came into my office. Boss, someone's here to see you. Who? Says her name's Jennifer, says she's an attorney. I frowned. Send her in. A woman walked in, mid-30s, professional suit, briefcase. She sat down without being asked. Mr. Mercer, I'm Jennifer Walsh. I represent Rebecca Carson. What does Rebecca want? She wants to negotiate a settlement. For what? For the damage you caused by releasing private information. That wasn't private. It was evidence of a conspiracy. That's debatable. My client feels you've defamed her. She's prepared to sue unless we can reach an agreement. Let her sue. Mr. Mercer, I'm not settling. I'm not apologizing. I'm not paying her anything. If she wants to sue me, tell her to go ahead. Walsh studied me, then nodded, stood up. I'll pass that along, she said. She left. I called Linda. Rebecca's threatening to sue. Of course she is. Should I be worried? No, she has no case. She's just trying to intimidate you. It's working. Don't let it. We did nothing wrong. Remember that. I tried to. But the threats kept coming. Torres sent a letter. Formal letter. Threatening action for defamation. Craig sent emails. Vague threats. Implied violence. I forwarded them to Detective Martinez. She said there was nothing she could do unless he actually did something, and Dylan sent nothing. Complete silence. That silence was worse than any threat. 3 weeks after the blog post went live, something changed. A customer came in. Old guy. Been bringing his truck to me for years. Saw what happened with your son, he said. Yeah. That's rough. Yeah. For what it's worth, I think you did the right thing. I looked at him. You do? Absolutely. Family or not, you can't let people walk all over you. You stood up for yourself. Takes guts. Thanks. And if you ask me, your son's the one who should be apologizing, not you. He paid. Left. But his words stayed with me. More customers said similar things over the next few days. Not all of them. Some stopped coming, took their business elsewhere, but more stayed than left. People respect you, Linda said. They respect what you did. Some people. The ones that matter. I wanted to believe that. 4 weeks after everything exploded, I got an email from a reporter. Local newspaper. She wanted to interview me. Do a feature story. Should I? I asked Linda. What would you say? The truth? What happened? Why I did what I did? Then do it. I met the reporter at a coffee shop. Older woman. Kind face. She asked good questions. I answered honestly. The article came out 3 days later. Front page. Below the fold, but still prominent. The headline, Local business owner fights back against family conspiracy. It was fair, balanced, presented both sides, but the tone was clear. I was the victim. Not Dylan, not Craig, not Rebecca. The article changed things. Suddenly people weren't just supporting me privately. They were doing it publicly. Comments on the newspaper's website, social media posts, people I'd never met defending me. It felt good, but also strange, like I'd become a symbol of something, some kind of example. You're a folk hero, Linda said. I'm not a hero. I just stood up for myself. That's why you're a hero. I didn't feel like a hero. I felt exhausted. 5 weeks in, Craig called. I want to meet, he said. Why? To talk. Clear the air. I don't think that's a good idea. Please, I'm not asking for much. Just coffee, 30 minutes. I shouldn't have agreed, but I was curious. We met at a diner. Neutral territory. Public place. Craig looked rough.
Like he hadn't been sleeping. He ordered coffee. So did I. I wanted to apologize, he said. For which part? All of it.
The checks, the mocking, the conspiracy. I was wrong. Why are you telling me this now? Because I've had time to think, and I realize I screwed up. I let my ego get in the way. I let my jealousy control me. Jealousy? Yeah, of you. You had something I never had. Stability, a real business, a family that respected you. That's not true. They didn't respect me. Dylan did, more than you know. He just couldn't admit it. Then why did he try to destroy me? Because he's scared. Scared of becoming like you, scared of being ordinary. I'm not ordinary. I know, but that's how he sees you, and that terrified him. We sat in silence, drank our coffee. What do you want from me? I said finally. Nothing. I just wanted you to know I'm sorry, and that I'm backing off. No more threats, no more schemes. I'm done. What about Dylan and Rebecca? They're on their own. I can't speak for them. Fair enough. He stood up, put money on the table for the coffee. For what it's worth, he said, you're tougher than I thought. Everyone is. He left. I sat there for a while, processing, trying to figure out if I believed him. Linda thought it was a trap when I told her. He's just regrouping, she said, planning his next move. Maybe. Or maybe he's genuinely sorry. You're too trusting. Maybe. But I didn't think I was being trusting. I think I just wanted this to be over. 6 weeks after everything started, Dylan called. Not Rebecca, just Dylan. Dad? My heart jumped. Yeah? Can we talk? I guess? In person? I hesitated. Then, okay. We met at a park. Same park where I'd taught him to ride a bike when he was 6. I sat on a bench. He sat next to me. Kept distance between us. I don't know how to start, he said. Then don't. Just talk. I'm angry at you. I know. But I'm also angry at myself. Why? Because I let Craig convince me that you were the problem, that you were holding me back, and I believed him. Why did you believe him? Because it was easier than admitting I was scared. Scared of what? Of failing, of not being good enough, of ending up like you. What's wrong with ending up like me? Nothing, that's what I'm realizing. You built something real, something that lasts. And I almost destroyed it because I was too proud to see that. We sat in silence, watched kids playing on the swings. I'm not asking you to forgive me, Dylan said. I know I don't deserve that, but I wanted you to know I understand now. What I did was wrong. Yeah, it was. Are we ever going to be okay again? I don't know. Fair enough. He stood up, started to walk away. Dylan. He stopped, turned. I love you, I said. No matter what, I love you. His face crumpled, just for a second. Then he got control. I love you too, Dad. He walked away, left me sitting there, feeling like maybe things could be fixed. Linda cried when I told her. He apologized? In his way. What does that mean for us? I don't know, but it's a start. She hugged me, hard, like she was afraid to let go. I'm proud of you, she said. For what? For standing your ground, for not backing down, for showing them who you really are. Who am I? You're a man who doesn't quit, no matter what. I liked that, wanted to believe it. But the truth was, I was tired, so tired. 7 weeks in, things finally started to feel normal, or a new version of normal. The reporters stopped calling, the threats stopped coming, business stabilized, Dylan and I talked once a week. Awkward conversations, but conversations. Rebecca never called. I heard through Gary that she'd moved out. Left Dylan. I didn't know if that was true. Craig kept his distance, sent a Christmas card that year. I didn't send one back, and Linda and I grew closer, stronger. We'd been through hell together, come out the other side. What are you thinking? She asked me one night. I'm thinking I almost lost everything. But you didn't. Because of you. Because of us. She was right. 8 weeks after the initial confrontation, Detective Martinez called. Mr. Mercer, I have news. What kind of news? The DA's office has decided to file charges, after all, against Craig Mitchell for the forged checks. What changed? Public pressure, the newspaper article, and new evidence that came to light. What new evidence? Craig's been running a con. Multiple victims. We found 3 other people he stole from using the same method. Forged checks, forged signatures. And you can prove it? We can. He's looking at serious time. I felt nothing. No satisfaction, no vindication, just emptiness. Thanks for telling me, I said. You did the right thing, Mr. Mercer, speaking up, standing your ground. Not everyone has that courage. I didn't feel courageous. That's what makes it courageous. She hung up. I sat there, thought about Craig, about the life he'd built on lies, about how it was all crumbling now. I didn't feel sorry for him, but I didn't feel victorious either. I just felt tired. 9 weeks in, Dylan asked to meet again. We went to the same park, same bench. Rebecca and I are getting divorced, he said. I'm sorry. Don't be. It was a long time coming. She was using me, same as I was using you. How so? She wanted the business, the money, the status. She didn't actually want me, and once she realized I wasn't going to get control of your shop, she left. That's rough. Yeah, but it's also clarifying. I've spent the last few years becoming someone I'm not, someone I don't like. I want to change that. How? I don't know yet, but I'm starting by apologizing, really apologizing, for everything. I appreciate that. Can I ask you something? Sure. Can I come back to the shop? Not as a manager, not as an owner, just as your son, learning the business, starting from the bottom. I looked at him, saw sincerity in his eyes. Real sincerity. Why? I said. Because I want to understand what you built, why it matters. I want to see it through your eyes instead of mine. That's not going to be easy. I know, but I want to try. I thought about it. Really thought. Okay, I said. But you follow my rules, you do the work, you earn your place. I will. And if you betray me again, I won't, I swear. I believed him, don't know why, but I did. 10 weeks after everything started, Dylan showed up at the shop. Gary and Tom looked at me. I nodded. He's here to work, I said. Treat him like any other employee. They did. Dylan worked hard. Didn't complain, didn't try to take charge, just learned. Every day, I watched him. Waited for the other shoe to drop, waited for him to revert to his old self. But he didn't. And slowly, very slowly, I started to trust him again. Linda was skeptical. Are you sure about this? She asked. No, but I'm doing it anyway. What if he's playing you? Then I'll deal with it, but I don't think he is. How do you know? I don't, but I'm choosing to believe him. She didn't argue, just watched, waited. 11 weeks in, Craig was arrested, made the news. Local TV covered it. Dylan saw it at the shop. Looked at me. Did you know? He asked. Yeah, Martinez called last week. How do you feel about it? I don't know. Empty, maybe. He deserves it. Probably, but it doesn't make me feel better. We went back to work. That night, Linda asked if I was okay. I'm fine. You don't seem fine. I just thought I'd feel more vindicated. But I don't. I just feel like I lost 3 months of my life to this mess. You didn't lose them. You fought for what was yours. Was it worth it? Yes, because you're still here, still standing, still running your business, and Dylan's back. For now. Give him a chance. I was trying, but it was hard. 12 weeks in, something unexpected happened. A man came to the shop, introduced himself as Marcus Silva, said he'd read about me in the newspaper, said he was impressed. I'm expanding my business, he said, looking for reliable partners. People with integrity, you interested? What kind of business? Fleet maintenance. I manage vehicles for 3 companies. Looking to expand, need someone to handle the mechanical side. Why me? Because you stood up to your own family to protect what you built. That tells me you're not going to cut corners, not going to compromise. I thought about it. Let me talk to my wife, I said. Linda was excited. This is the opportunity you've been waiting for, she said. I don't know if I'm ready. Of course you're ready. You've been ready for years. You just didn't see it. What about Dylan? What about him? If I expand, he'll be part of it. Am I ready to trust him with that? Only you can answer that. I thought about it for days. Weighed the risks, the benefits, the possibilities. Finally, I called Silva back. I'm in, I said. Good. Let's meet next week. Work out the details. One condition. What's that? My son's part of this. He's learning the business. I want him involved. The same son who tried to take your business? Yeah. You're sure? I'm sure. Okay. If you trust him, I trust him. I hoped I was making the right decision. 13 weeks in, Linda and I signed the partnership agreement with Silva. It was a good deal. Fair, generous, exactly what we needed to take the business to the next level. Dylan was there, watching, learning. After we signed, he pulled me aside. "Thank you," he said. "For what?" "For giving me another chance. For believing in me when I didn't deserve it. You're my son. What else was I supposed to do? You could have cut me off, disowned me. I would have understood. I thought about it. But you didn't. No, I didn't. Why? Because you're worth more than your worst mistake." He teared up, tried to hide it, failed. "I'm going to make you proud," he said. "You already did. By admitting you were wrong, by coming back, by doing the work. That's enough." We stood there, father and son, trying to rebuild what we'd almost destroyed. 14 weeks in, everything finally felt settled. Business was good, better than good. The partnership with Silva was working. Dylan was proving himself. Linda was thriving. And me? I was tired, but also satisfied. I'd fought. I'd won. Not completely, but enough. "What are you thinking?" Linda asked me one Saturday morning. "I'm thinking we survived. More than survived. We thrived." "Did we?" "Look around. The business is growing. Dylan's back. Craig's in jail. Rebecca's gone. We won." "It doesn't feel like winning." "What does it feel like?" "Like surviving. Like making it through a war." "That's what winning looks like sometimes. Not glorious, just enduring." She was right. I'd endured. We'd endured. And that was enough. 15 weeks after everything started, I realized something. I'd changed, not in obvious ways, but in fundamental ones. I wasn't the same person who'd stood at that grill, taking insults, taking mockery, taking disrespect. I was harder now, more cautious, but also more confident. I'd learned what I was capable of, what I was willing to do to protect what I'd built. And I'd learned something else. Underestimating someone is a mistake. People had underestimated me my whole life. My brother-in-law, my son, my daughter-in-law. They'd seen a quiet man, a hard-working man, and they'd assumed that meant weak. They'd been wrong. And now they knew it. "You look satisfied," Linda said. "Do I?" "Yeah, like you've figured something out." "I have." "What?" "That I'm not who they thought I was." "Who are you?" "I'm someone who fights. When pushed, when threatened, I fight." "Is that a good thing?" "I don't know, but it's true." She smiled. "I'm proud of you." "For what?" "For becoming who you were always meant to be." I liked that, wanted to believe it, but the truth was simpler. I wasn't some hero. I wasn't some victim-turned-victor. I was just a man who refused to quit, who refused to back down, and sometimes that's enough.